Self-development is huge, regardless of where you are in leadership. Doesn't matter if you're the king of the world, you need to keep working on you.
Yep.
It all starts with you. A whole lot. Leadership starts here with you.
Definitely.
If you're not looking after you and doing the right thing by you, if you're being self-judging, if you're being horrible to yourself or unkind to yourself, if you're just not looking after you, you're not going to look after anyone else.
Yeah. Listen to a podcast a day. Read a page or two from a book, an audiobook. Listen to an audiobook a day.
Yep.
Do whatever while you're going for a walk, while you're on the treadmill, while you're in the car, whatever. Welcome to Playing with Perspective, the suspended animation podcast, where we hear real stories from real people and we tackle all sorts of fun topics in the areas of business, marketing, entrepreneurship, mindset, the arts, and, well, life itself. It's amazing what you will pick up. Thanks for joining us. Welcome, everyone. It's Darren Saul here, your host of Playing with Perspective, the suspended animation podcast. I hope everybody's doing really well. It's episode 258. Topic for today, where do I belong? Finding your place and staying there as a modern leader, with the fantastic Mary Wong. How you doing, Mary?
I'm very well, thank you, Darren. Well, more or less very well.
More or less nursing a little bit of a flu, but you look good and you sound good today.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I like your scarf.
Thank you. I like a bit of colour.
Yeah. So for everyone out there, Mary is an author, keynote speaker, and founder of Optimal Life Solutions. Mary Wong's passion is developing inspirational leaders with qualifications in coaching, counselling, and business, and 20 plus years of experience as a leadership and speaking trainer. She says individuality is key in inspirational leadership. Mary is the recipient of numerous awards, including 2 Stevie International Women in Business Awards for her work, assisting organizations and their teams build deep connections, resolve conflicts, and foster new relationships through respectful communication. When she's not speaking, facilitating, or writing, Mary loves to encourage her garden to grow and to release her inhibitions through the organic creative process of doodling. Are you an artist, Mary?
Oh, I want to be.
What have you
I want to be artist.
I love it. That's pretty cool. Have you always been a doodler?
No, actually, I didn't think I could doodle. I was never any good at it. Then during COVID, a friend started doing online doodling classes just for fun.
Wow.
And we joined those classes and I amazed myself with what I was able to do.
It's amazing how some people, I've heard of other people all of a sudden pick up art and drawing just at a certain point and they're just brilliant. And they just never knew they could do it.
Yep. It's
me, on the other hand, I know that I can't do it, so I won't even try.
Darren, you and I need to talk about that.
There you go. Maybe there's something in that. But Mary, tell us a bit about your background and why you love working in this field in leadership and coaching.
Yeah, leadership and coaching. So coaching was something I was never, ever going to do because I didn't believe in coaches and I didn't think they were any good at anything because I'd met a few who called themselves coaches but weren't actually trained in coaching. When I discovered what coaching actually was, I went, oh, hello, I'm home.
Okay, amazing.
I found my place. It's so different to what a lot of people put it out there as.
Yep.
So the premise of coaching is that you've got within you everything you need and that we can release that simply by bringing it to your awareness through questions. Asking the questions. It's not telling you that you've got to do it this way or follow a format. Yep. It's within you and we just help you unearth it.
Love that. And that's the difference between coaching and training, isn't it?
Definitely. So training is, this is how you do it.
Exactly.
Here's a process. Here's a formula. Coaching is, so how do you think you could use that to bring this out or to create this thing that it is that you're wanted? And it's very client-centric, very much from their map of the world. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
And why leaders? Why do leaders fascinate you so much?
Why leaders? I've had a life where I had been, and not to play the victim, I have no wish to play the victim or to sit in the space of victim, but for a lot of years I was a victim. I was a victim of a lot of disempowering behaviours through people in leadership positions who, to my mind, did it wrong. They got it wrong. And I think this is also a little bit of a generational thing because 20, 30, 40 years ago, now I'm aging myself, aren't I? leadership was being a boss and being very directive and authoritarian, and you do as you're told, and this is how you do it. But leadership has emerged and changed a lot over the years. And I've always been someone who kind of thought a little bit ahead of where I sat. So even back then, I was like, this isn't right. This isn't how it should be done. And I've been through a few different careers. I went nursing and then I did fashion. And so I've had a bit of a
nursing to fashion.
Progress. Yeah. Well, nursing, for example, well, that's just needlework of a different kind, fashion and nursing. But nursing's very hierarchical. So there's a lot of leadership within nursing. There's a lot of different structure within that leadership roles. And the reason I left nursing was when a leader told me that I needed to just suck it up and get on with it when I was going through a really bad time in my life. And I thought, wow, if you've got no empathy and you're meant to be in a caring industry, then I don't want to become you. I'm out of here. That was the thing that got me out. So having experienced that and then experiencing it also when I was a young designer working for a fashion house, for a bridal house, and experiencing very poor leadership there where that woman basically killed her business with her leadership. She was looking to sell it and retire. And in the end, no one would buy it from her because of the workplace culture within that place. And it was all came from her and her bad leadership. So there was a lot of bad experiences in the past. There was also a lot of my own, because I'm a little bit different, as are we all, let's face it, because we're all individuals.
All individual.
Yeah. And I have a very strong belief that you have within you your own special little brand of brilliance. Whatever it is, it's different to someone else. If there's two of us, there's too many of us, right?
Totally agree.
Yeah. So for me, it's very much about if you're in a position of leadership, you need to acknowledge and allow people to be themselves. Now, clearly, there's certain behavioral guidelines and things that you're going to want people to maintain within a business or an association or an organization of any sort. But you also need to let people be themselves, because when they're allowed to be themselves, they get a sense of belonging. They get a sense that they found their place. Just like I did when I was saying earlier about going coaching and going, oh, I'm home. If you can build that sense that someone is home when they're with you, that person commits in a way that's so much deeper and stronger than what they do if you don't build that. And the key to that is treating every single person with equal respect and to validate their reason for being, to validate and look after them and support them. Now, that doesn't mean let's be Pollyanna. Sometimes we still have to keep people accountable. We still have deadlines, KPIs, all those sorts of things in place.
And sometimes you have to move away from being a friend and being a director in a way sometimes to get things done, but in the right way.
Well, you can actually be a director and validate people and be very uplifting and supportive of them without being their best friend.
Yep. So true.
And this is the fine line that I work within, is helping people into that space of being able to make their people feel like they're valued and respected and that they've got a reason to be here and be committed towards the outcomes that you want within your area as a leader. So that's kind of what got me there, was having experienced it all wrong,
right.
but also having experienced some of them doing it right.
Yes.
And seeing the difference and going like, what's the difference here? How do you find that difference? And so I've made a study of it for years and years. I remember watching videos of Nelson Mandela speaking when he got out of jail and seeing the grace and the humility and the humanity of this person who'd been through so much and the way that he still treated people with respect and he uplifted and guided. And I remember watching it going, what's this guy got? He's amazing. He's got so much charisma. He's got so much within him. And like, I was only a kid back then.
Yeah.
I wasn't very old at all. And watching it and going, wow, I want to be able to be like him. I want to be able to help people like he does and support people like he does.
Yep.
But as I grew, I came to realize that, and now this is not a self-deprecation, but I'm just a girl in Australia. I've not got his circumstances. I don't have his background. I don't have what he has in his ability to, or what he had, not has now, he's clearly gone now, but in his ability to reach the multitudes. But what I do have is the ability to help other leaders to grow. And that way my reach is extended because it's a network type thing. My ripple reaches those leaders and then their ripples reach more leaders, then we've got an opportunity to really change the world just through our small actions and in our small environment.
Yep,
it's amazing how far we can reach.
Absolutely. I love that. And they do. They say that Nelson Mandela had a certain aura about him. If you were in his presence, you felt it. There was something magical there. People have said that.
I went to South Africa, it must be about 10 years ago now, and went to the museums and everything, the Nelson Mandela museums and things when I was there. And even, he's gone. He's not even there anymore. And went to his house, but you could still kind of feel him. You could still kind of feel it. Wow. There was this real reverence in the place there. It was just amazing.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Now, something that's going through my mind as we're speaking, and it's kind of in line with the topic of today, which is finding your place or belonging, is that a lot of the leaders that you work with, are they promoted leaders or are they chosen leaders in a way that they've chosen to be leaders themselves, or have they just been promoted without their...
So the corporate ones, quite often the corporate ones that I work with have been recognized as being really good at their job, so let's put them into leadership.
That's right.
And
that's
not how
always the best way.
No. And I'll often get people come to me going, oh my God, my team hates me. I don't know what I've done wrong. They just hate me. I can't seem, like I used to get along with these people. Now they don't want to know me. Are they jealous? Are they? And they're asking all these questions like, I don't understand what went wrong. And then when you start to work with them and do some, leadership work, they start to realize the little things that they're doing that aren't quite gelling, because being good at your job doesn't make you a leader.
No. People should be promoted to leadership roles because they have leadership qualities, not because they're good at the job that they're doing.
And so here's the thing, like leadership qualities aren't something that you're born with necessarily either. So if you are really good at your job and management's looking at you going, this person would be a brilliant leader, where management go wrong is when they go, well, let's promote them without first going in and going, let's develop them.
Yeah.
So let's develop them so that they learn those skills. Let's get them into, first off, let's talk to them and go, hey, are you interested? What is it that you want? Because that person might be,
they might say, I'm a loner, I hate people, and I just want to do my job.
I had no interest whatsoever in moving up. I absolutely love what I do here. The previous company I worked at, they moved me up. I hated it. I don't ever want to go there. Please leave me do my job.
Exactly.
And that's fine, right? If somebody is at home in that situation, provided they're not doing it just because they're scared that maybe they can't, that's different.
That's different.
Because you can develop that. But if someone's at home there and really happy there, why would you evict them?
Yep, that's right.
It doesn't make sense. You're going to get the best out of that person. I mean, good leadership involves getting the best out of your people and 100%. Helping them step up when they're right to step up. Yeah. So develop them, do the work with them. There's so much that you can do to develop people. There's all sorts of tools and things that you can use to ascertain what level they're at now and where they can get to with what particular areas to work on and where they can get.
Let's actually talk about that. Like, what are some of these tools and profiling tools? Because I know that there's Myers-Briggs and DISC and a million others, and I've heard of so many. And there's always this argument and this discussion. Do they work? Do they not work? So I'd love to talk a bit about that.
So where tools don't work is where people use them to put people into a box. Okay, they have got these letters in front of their profile. That means they fit into this box. I've had somebody do that to me. I did not like it, not one little bit, and I got very disengaged from that organisation. What you use those for is a guideline that helps you to understand that person better. For example, I actually love profiling. I love profiling tools when they're used correctly.
Yep.
One of my favourite tools is the Herman Brain Dominance Instrument. It's been around for a lot of years, and the reason it's been around for that long is it's so effective. It's very simple, it's very easy to do, and it's so easy to understand. And what it does is it gives you a tool not just to understand yourself and why you think the way you do, but it also helps you to understand the people around you. And it helps you see like where their differences, why their brain defaults to something or other. I'll give you an example, and this is a very personal example. My husband is incredibly messy and disorganized. He's an amazing person, very high level, achieves really high level, incredibly messy and disorganized. Right. And it used to bother me no end. And I thought that was because I was the organized one and I was just sick of tidying up from him. what I realized after doing my Herman brain dominance was that I'm also disorganized and messy.
Oh, wow.
And the reason that his messy, disorganized behavior bothered me so much is that it's bloody hard work for me to not be messy and disorganized. Now, having been a nurse, I've learned how not to be messy and disorganized. That's part of the training, or it was back then.
Yeah.
These days, I'm not so sure. But I learnt it and it became ingrained. But it also became, it's something that I really have to work at. So when someone messes up stuff around me, I get bothered by them messing it up. What it did by understanding and recognizing that part of myself through doing that profiling is it helped me to understand that actually, yes, he's messy and disorganized, but the angst is coming from me.
Interesting.
It's not coming from him. It's coming from me because I'm the one who gets anxious about messy and disorganized. He doesn't.
Gotcha.
He can see it.
So let's say that he was profiled and that was one of the things that showed up. How would you now take that information and use that?
With him?
Yeah.
First off, my husband would not agree to a profile. He doesn't believe in this sort of, he calls it psychobabble bullshit, to be honest. But having said that, if I was in a situation with somebody who would agree to profiling and so forth, it just would give me an opportunity to then go, okay, so this is an area that it's a blind spot for you. It's an area that you don't pay attention to. And it's an area that affects people around you. So one of the really cool things about the Herman brain is you can do team profiling.
Okay.
So you can actually overlay all the different team profiles on top of each other and you can see the areas in the team. You can pretty much guarantee where the conflict is within that team just by doing this profile overlay. It's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. And once you can get people to understand that the reason that Johnny from accounts is so annoyed with you is that when that you and him don't get along, it's because you're more worried about the space of nurturing and caring for people and you recognize that there's 35 other children who aren't going to get fed this week.
Yep.
So, Johnny, come on, give me the money. And Johnny's like, mate, I've only got this much money and it can only go there and there. And so you're having angst between the two of you. And that gives you the opportunity to go, okay, if I want Johnny from accounts to give me this money, I have to communicate with him in a way that says, hey, Johnny, you know how you've only got this much in the budget? So if we do this thing here, it's going to save you all of this money here.
Yeah.
And Johnny will go, oh, that's good. Really cool. All right, let's make that project work. Because that's how it works when you communicate across preferences. Johnny doesn't want to know about how many kids you're going to help.
That's right. Yeah.
And Johnny feels judged because you're saying to Johnny, you don't care. But Johnny does care. And if he cares about the accounts.
And if you're always handing in your stuff late as well, Johnny gets annoyed because he just wants to get his job done.
Very annoyed. Johnny gets very, very annoyed when you're late handing in reports and budgets and absolutely. And for you, the reports and the budgets don't matter because you're spending time with the people who need the help.
That's right.
Right? Again, Johnny's going, why isn't she handing in the reports? You're there going, he doesn't care.
You're going, I'm changing the world. And Johnny says, I want the reports.
So what Johnny needs to do to communicate to your style is to go, hey, Mary, you know those 35 kids you want to feed? If you can get me this month's figures in, I might be able to find the money to actually feed them.
There you go.
Voila.
That's right. That's all. Communication is so common sense when you break it down, but we don't always do it.
No, we don't. And then what you discover is that you're both on the same team because you're actually communicating to a style that the other person listens to, so it fits for their brain.
Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Ridiculous.
I love it.
Now, I want to talk a bit more scientific because I know that you're into this as well. When you are in your happy place and you feel like you're belonging, how does that affect you from a low stress, efficiency point of view, results point of view?
This is really cool. So this stuff gets me really excited. I love neuroscience and I love the way that our bodies work to support us. So when we're in a space of happiness and love, feeling supported and trusted and looked after, our body, our brains produce oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love and trust hormone.
It's the bonding hormone as well.
Yep, that's the one. It's that one that mums and babies, babies help mum produce when they're first born, that sort of thing. But all of us have it. It's not just mums and babies. So oxytocin's like, when you're first in love and,
That's
they
right.
couldn't do anything wrong. You're full of oxytocin. It's this lovely little oxytocin flood, and we all love it. It's a great hit to have, right? When you are highly stressed, what happens is your cortisol goes up. So your cortisol is that the body's response hormone to stress, to upset, but it's also the distrust and unsafe response. So if our cortisol has gone up, our cortisol floods our brain and our brain doesn't function properly. We literally cannot think straight when we're in a cortisol flood.
Yep.
Here's the really cool thing. Oxytocin and cortisol co-regulate. So if your oxytocin's
they go
high,
one or the other, yeah?
Yep, your cortisol's low.
Yep.
If your cortisol comes up, your oxytocin goes down.
Right.
So you can't be in a lovey, happy place and be distrusting of that same person at the same time. It doesn't happen.
That's right. Or be stressed at the same time. It doesn't, yeah.
It's why we fall in love with the wrong people, because we just don't see the red flags because we're all full of oxytocin. It's also why when you're really upset and angry with someone who's broken your trust, you just can't love them now.
Right. Yeah,
you just can't.
So true.
Because that's your oxytocin and cortisol. So if you provide an environment where you're leading, where people feel safe and valued and trusted, you're raising their oxytocin. That doesn't mean they won't have other stressors in their life. They will. Life is full of stressors, especially these days. But the more that you can get the oxytocin up, the lower their stress hormones will be.
Yeah.
And what happens in that, so you want some cortisol. You don't want no cortisol.
Yeah.
Because that's where you get that situation where you don't see the red flags, you're not looking for risk, you're not mitigating risk.
Gotcha.
Because, we're just like, everything's going to be fine.
And you're probably also not pursuing deadlines and things like that because you need a little bit of stress to get the job done.
That little bit of cortisol is good for you. It gets you out of bed in the morning.
Yeah,
cortisol's what gets you wakes you up.
Yeah.
It gets you out of bed. If you're lying around in oxytocin, you don't want to get out of bed.
Happy.
Beautiful. It's bliss. Who needs to work?
It's like cloud nine every day, all day.
Could you imagine? But it also doesn't give you the impetus to keep you moving forward. So that little bit of oxytocin is a necessity. It also keeps our blood pressure up rather than in our boots.
Okay.
Because if we don't have enough cortisol, we're falling over.
That's right.
So it is necessary. And just as each one and every little thing in our body has a role, is there for a reason.
All balanced.
Not just bad stuff. So it's about balancing it. Absolutely. So when you've got your oxytocin high enough and your cortisol low enough, but not too low, you have a workplace where people are enthusiastic, they're energized, they're happy to be there, they're paying attention, they're on the ball, they get their reports to Johnny in time, so he doesn't say no to what it is that Mary wants. All of those things actually happen.
Love it.
When you have a space where people belong, their oxytocin's higher. You have less sickness because cortisol, when it's high, leads to illness, leads to disease.
Yep.
Cortisol, when it's high,
it weakens the immune system, yeah?
It does. Weakens the immune system over a long period of time, causes things like cancer, heart disease. It's actually very bad for you having high cortisol for a long period of time. And they've also discovered that it causes brain damage over a long period of time. It actually starts to knock off your neurons. So that's why it's important to keep your stress levels under control and do things to look after them.
Gotcha. And of course, more oxytocin, the more teamwork.
Absolutely. And you get that oxytocin by being valued and respected, looked after, cared for, feeling like you're important within that group.
I love that. So that's really interesting. So that if you can, as a leader, if you can even just help to bring up oxytocin of individuals, that will help your team as a whole.
Yes.
That's really interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, here's a fun thing, right? We often will look at a team working together and we'll start to say, oh, this person belongs in that box. They're in the too hard box and that person's just too hard to work with. Oh, that one's the wet blanket. They're always spotting problems or that sort of thing. So when we look at our team in that way and we assume that people belong in a certain box and that they don't have something to give, we are taking their brilliance out of the team. Now, you're going to say to me, what brilliance does a wet blanket have?
Yeah, well, everybody's got their gifts. Everyone's got
their gifts. Being a wet blanket is a gift. If we are able to accept that diversity of thinking and accept that person has a diversity of perspective and actually rather than going, oh, God, He's just the wet blanket. Just ignore that one. When you're in a team meeting and you're innovating with something and you're saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. And he goes, that's not going to work. God, he goes again, roll your eyes, keep talking, ignore him. He's negative Nelly, And if you actually turn around and go, why isn't it going to work? Can you help me understand where it's not going to work?
Yeah, if you use that.
And you do that in a way that is supportive, nurturing, and allows them to give their perspective, you might discover a problem that you hadn't previously noticed.
Interesting.
If they can show you that problem, then you as a team can go, we hadn't thought about that. How can we work around that? How can we innovate around that? So what started off as an innovative product around here that may not have worked becomes an innovative product at this level that does work and takes off.
Love it.
And that's how embracing diversity of perspectives and allowing people to be themselves actually helps your team grow as well.
Fascinating. Can you walk into a team and just observe them for 10 minutes and know exactly where the problems are from the...
It takes a little bit longer than 10 minutes.
Or half an hour.
If you think about people who are a little bit more introverted, particularly in team meetings and things, sometimes there's people who will sit in a team meeting like this and they'll do that for the whole time and they won't say a word. And you'll think, that person's just not participating. And then right at the end of the meeting, they'll go, or just before the end of the meeting, they'll go, I found that really interesting because then that did that and that did that and that did that. And now I see that this little thing here would fix that in the first place. And everyone in the room just goes, oh my God, we didn't even think you were listening.
They were
so
processing.
It doesn't happen. They're quiet processes. They're less vocal. They verbalize less, but they're quiet processes. It does take time to get to know the team. It's not something that happens in 10 seconds, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but that's where those profiles really help because it gives you more of an idea that this is the introspective person, the one that's going to be more quiet. They're going to think to themselves. This is their way of processing. This is So this is where your profiles come in handy is understanding, not judging, not going, they've got this profile, they'll be no good.
Yes.
That's not what profiles are for.
Exactly. It's how can we use those attributes to our ability.
Yeah. What have they got within that profile, which is their bit of brilliance that's really going to fit this whole, because we have this idea that our whole team need to almost be clones of each other.
No.
For a team to work together, they've got to get along, they've got to do this, they've got to do that. We've got it all wrong.
And that's why sports is so great, because when you look at a sports team, like a rowing team or a running relay team or a swimming relay team, everyone has their own position for a reason. They're chosen very carefully for that position or that sequence for their skills.
Yes, and their particular strength is what serves the team best because their role is different to the next person's role.
Exactly.
They are different to the next person.
So it's the same thing.
And it's in harnessing their brilliance, each person's brilliance, and bringing it together that you get that really highly functioning team.
Yeah, it's about a highly functioning team of individuals rather than 4 clones or 10 clones.
Yes. Yes. So you asked me earlier who are the people I work with, because I do a lot of work with people who are in that leadership and with teams. I do facilitated workshopping and things like that with teams. Right. Yeah. But the other one that I work with are the entrepreneurs. So they're, I guess, self-promoted, if you will.
Yes, exactly.
So the entrepreneurs, and they're the ones that tend to be my one-on-one clients who want to step up to the next level. They know they want to scale their business, but they're scared of the spotlight. They're not ready to be in it. Right. They're not comfortable being seen as the leader. They haven't got the vision beyond, I just want to make this work.
Yeah.
They've got to be able to see beyond that, because if you just want to make that work, that's as big as it'll ever get.
That's right. That's right. And a lot of the time, entrepreneurs or solopreneurs especially just have come from being really good at what they do, but they haven't developed the rest of the skills they need to take their journey further.
Yeah, there were a lot of people through COVID who left their corporate jobs because they didn't like working by themselves at home and not being part of the team anymore, and decided that they would go out as consultants or set up their own business and things like that. And I have a very good friend actually who did something similar to that, and she keeps saying now, I'm not qualified to run a business. I'm qualified to do what I do, but I'm not qualified to run a business. And she's constantly going off and doing yet another workshop, yet another this, yet another that, all training to learn to run a business.
Well,
because running a business.
That's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Because running a business is not doing that particular service that you're used to doing,
100%.
various miles apart from corporate. And a lot of corporates get a big surprise when they leave corporate and then go into running their own business. But this is not what I do, is not business coaching per se.
Yeah.
It's leadership. It's standing up and being recognized as the authority in your field and the things that you do to help you do that.
And I want to talk a bit about being yourself and being authentic, because it is easy these days to be pushed into fitting in.
Yeah. When we worry about belonging, somewhere, when we're someone, and particularly if you sit on autism spectrum or one of those neurodiverse areas, you become very introspective about, I don't know that I'm the same. And generally, not always, but a lot of people who sit on the spectrum recognize that they're not the same as a lot of people around them. And so they get really anxious about it. They get really worried about it.
Yeah, and they just want to try and do stuff to fit in and not stand out.
Yeah. And they, what can I do to make myself less visible, to make myself less, basically, particularly people who are very out there, people with ADHD sometimes, or people who just have a very extroverted, out there kind of nature, and a lot of us do, particularly those of us who've gone in running our own businesses, because it's kind of that creative nature sort of fits. Yeah. But they've done a lot of time trying to fit in to somebody else's mold. And the thing is, that's not their brilliance. They're trying to be someone else. They're not trying to be themselves. For those people, first thing that I recommend to them is to do some of that profiling so that they start to see where their own brilliance is, because quite often the people who feel like I've got to belong and I don't recognize their own brilliance. Yeah. So I always say to them, like, let's do some work on discovering you, the real you that's within you. What is your brilliance? What is obviously, clearly, before I've even got to that point, I've done a lot of questioning and so forth and asking them what they see of themselves. And more often than not, their self-worth's pretty low because I don't fit in. They've been through a school system that squashes them into a box and says, I don't care that you're around a square peg. You are going to fit into that round hole. And that does a lot to someone's psyche.
Yeah. And
I know. I went through that journey.
Yeah, and it's all about labeling. And for me, I'm not really into labeling. I think society loves to label everything and define everything and put it into its little compartment and box. Whereas it just is sometimes. You don't have to label it.
I don't have a problem with a label in things like neurodiversity, stuff like that, because it helps you understand where you're coming from and why it is that you do things the way that you do and why it is that other people might not understand what you're doing in that moment. If it's used to help you understand and used to help you grow, that's great.
Yeah.
Where a label is used to confine you, to stick you in a box, to say you belong in that box, that's the only place you can be and you're not allowed to be part of the rest of the world, that's when labeling's no good at all.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like as a diagnostic tool that helps you to move forward, great, go for it. But if it's going to be a confinement tool, no way.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't want it. Thank you very much.
Yep.
So understanding self is the first part of that. But the biggest part of it is recognizing that you're probably more worried about you and what you think and feel like and how you fit in than anybody else is.
Yeah, 100%.
In most cases,
everybody's got enough stuff to worry about. They're not even interested. Yeah.
Right. They're too busy judging themselves.
That's right.
Not too worried about you.
Exactly.
So if you can, first off, be open to reaching out to other people and being curious and inquisitive and getting to know people and building connections with them, just by being yourself and being kind and asking the right questions, you'll start to build bridges.
Yeah.
And you'll start to build a community of people around you who like you for you, not for anything else, and who get to know you for you. And the more that you can be you, even if it's only in one little area, the more you get to be you, the more you get to like you. And as you like you more and more, you're happy to be you more and more. It's like the thin edge of the wedge. You knock it in a little bit and then you get comfortable there. So you knock it a bit further and stretch a bit and get comfortable there and you just keep doing it. And then suddenly you are able to do that way more openly. Yeah. I think everyone goes at their own pace with this sort of stuff. I think I was about 43 before I actually started feeling like I'd found a place where I belonged.
Wow. And
where I was comfortable fitting in.
Okay.
It took a really long time, but I have an autism diagnosis.
Right.
And that's possibly why.
Yeah.
Having said that, I also had a lot of trauma as a young person through bullying and things like that went on, guns held to my head, all sorts of
my
things that
God.
went on for me. Yeah, it was quite severe.
Wow.
And all of that kind of combined and built up. And each time I'd just sort of hide it, push it in, not let people see me, not let people hear me. And it wasn't until things got really bad, my early 40s, and I went and got some psychological help with that I started to talk about it.
Yeah.
And once I started to talk about what had gone on, I was able to start breaking it down, taking the holds off, and allowing myself to just be me. It's an ongoing journey for pretty well everyone, Darren. It never stops.
No.
It never stops for anyone, because just when you think you've worked out through something, it comes up again and you go, that's sorted.
That's right. There's different situations. There's different circles of people. There's different levels of leadership. There's different exposure, and you're always battling with something.
Yep. And it just takes time. And I think one of the biggest things is just give yourself grace.
Yep.
It's okay. It's okay. If you're not in the right place and you recognize you're not in the right place, well, you've made one step in the right direction to fixing it.
That's right. And ask for help if you need to.
I'm not where I need to be. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Yes, I can get help with this. Great. Who do I go to? Ask people, look around, do some research. Right, that person seems good. Go to that person. Oh, that person didn't help. Look again. Don't just go, that means I'm not helpable.
That's right.
What it means is that you didn't quite fit where you went. Keep looking and find the person you fit with. And when you find that person that you fit with and you keep working, you've got that opportunity to get yourself to where you do belong and to where you are comfortable and where you can stand up and lead whatever it is that is your burning desire to lead, to create in this world.
Beautiful. Love that. So true. Anything else that you wanted to add in terms of tactics for how leaders can also stay good leaders? Because it's easy to become a leader and do all the work, but then after a while you start to forget to do all these things that you should be doing, and the status quo takes over, and then before you know it, you've lost touch again and lost relationships with everybody in your team.
Life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way and you get busy. And how do you actually maintain that focus?
Yeah. So first off, schedule time for you. Self-care. Self-care is huge. If you don't look after yourself, you won't have the energy or the capacity to look after other people. So always, I'm very much a big fan of meditation.
Oh, love it.
Now, meditation, whatever that is for you. For some people, meditation is this. For some people, it's jogging.
Yeah.
For some people, it's hugging a tree. Whatever it is for you, that works. For some people, it's heavy metal music. Whatever it is that takes you into that space where you can just go,
yeah, I'm in the zone.
Yeah, I'm in my place. I don't need to think. I don't need to put effort into this. I can just sit in this space and be.
Yeah.
Whatever that is for you, find it and make sure that you do that for yourself, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. Confucius always says 20 minutes, and he said if you don't have time to sit for 20 minutes, then it means you need to sit for an hour.
Oh, boy.
It's really powerful stuff, though, because when you have time to just be, that's when the really clever downloads, that's when all of the processing comes. That's when
it's the subconscious. That's when the subconscious magic kicks in.
Yeah, it is. And the best ideas come when you're doing that. For me, I love gardening. I told you I love my garden, didn't I? Yeah. When I'm in the garden, if I'm struggling with something and I go and I just can't work this out, I'm not quite sure what to do with it, I'll go out in the garden and start weeding or whatever, and bing, 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 it all comes in. So all the light bulbs go off, and I'm like, oh.
For me, it's driving. I know that if I take a break and just go for a drive for half an hour, I know I'm going to come up with some great ideas. I don't even think about which ideas. I just say, time for a drive. And I come back with other things that I have to action straight away.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Brilliant. I love a long distance drive. Like when you just get in the car by yourself and drive 8 hours to somewhere. It's amazing how much goes on in there during that time. It's brilliant. So, definitely time for self.
Yep. Okay.
Definitely time for self. Time for health.
Nice.
Definitely look after your health. Time for wealth, look after your finances.
Yeah, good.
So self, health, wealth. Nice. They're the three big things. Then relationships, the people around you. Who are the people around you that fill you up?
Yeah.
Who are the people around you that drain you? So sometimes we have to deal with people who drain us. And if we know we've got to deal with that person who drains us, and we've done all the work around that person to make sure that it's not us that's causing this problem, and we don't have, particularly in some roles, we don't have a choice about coming up against these people. If we've got a choice about coming up against them, then we choose not to be there, right? That's easy.
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't have a choice. So if you know that you're stuck in a situation where you've got to deal with that guy that just brings you down, make sure that you structure that with support around it.
Yeah. So do it at the end of the day so it doesn't ruin your day.
Yeah. Or some meditation around it, some people around it, or someone who will uplift you again straight after it.
Yeah.
Or, or some heavy metal music for 10 minutes that's going to bang that person right out of your brain. Then whatever it is for you that helps you get rid of it, then make sure you structure that around there.
Yeah.
Schedule time for you for your self-development.
That's a big one.
Self-development is huge, regardless of where you are in leadership. Doesn't matter if you're the king of the world, you need to keep working on you.
Yep.
It all starts with you. A whole lot. Leadership starts here with you.
Definitely.
If you're not looking after you and doing the right thing by you, if you're being self-judging, if you're being horrible to yourself or unkind to yourself, if you're just not looking after you, you're not going to look after anyone else.
Yeah. Listen to a podcast a day. Read a page or two from a book, an audiobook. Listen to an audiobook a day.
Yep.
Do whatever while you're going for a walk, while you're on the treadmill, while you're in the car, whatever.
Yeah. I find leadership retreats really good for that.
Oh, I haven't been on one of those. That'd be fun.
Yeah, no, they're really good because they have their degree of quiet time, reflection time. They have journaling time. They have self-development type stuff. They have community where you can bounce ideas off each other.
You network with people.
That was the next thing, was people, community.
Yeah.
That's that relationship thing. But it just allows you space as well to just be. And that's the biggest thing, just be.
I love it. Love it.
Embody that leader that you are.
Well, Mary, it's been absolutely fascinating talking to you. I know that we've just touched the surface. I can tell there's a lot more underneath. I'd love to learn how you actually work. Like if people want to work with you, what's your process?
So normally what I would do, someone reaches out and says, hey, I'm curious to know more about working with you. I'll have a session with them first because you know how I talk about belonging and how it has to be a fit? Fits need to go two ways.
Yep, sure.
So they need to be a fit for me as well as me being a fit for them.
Yep.
So in that session, we kind of get to know a bit more about each other and what it is that they're wanting to work towards, whether I'm actually the right person to work on that. Because one of the things I learned in counselling, and I did my counselling way back before I did my coaching, was that just because you can help someone doesn't mean you should, that there might be someone better for them. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with saying, oh, I know someone who's better at this than I am.
Yeah.
Because if someone's coming to me as wanting business coaching, I think I'm not a business coach. I'm a leadership coach. I'm not a business coach. Mm-hmm. You want business coaching? This is who I recommend.
Yeah.
And that's how I work. So we have a chat first. After we've had a chat, I will look at what it is that they want and where they're wanting to go, what they're wanting to do, and I'll come back with a proposal. So this is how it would work. And this is what we can do. Usually within the chat, I'll also talk to them a little bit about budget and go, what are you prepared to put towards this? Because I know that some people have a big budget and some people don't.
Yeah.
So what I tend to work out with my clients is what can you manage? Now, it doesn't mean that I discount my services.
No.
What it means is that I might spread them out, do it a little different.
Put something together in a way that fits their budget.
Yeah, there might be some online classes or something like that I recommend rather than going straight into one-to-one counselling or coaching with them. So it's really about finding what's going to be a fit for them as well as are they a fit for me? Because if it's someone, and we all have this thing where we'll meet someone and they give you the ick. I'm sorry, but that's what happens sometimes. There's always somewhere you just go, oh God, I can't handle that person. And it might be me, but if somebody does that when I'm with them and I just go, oh God, I just can't handle this one, I'm not going to work with them. No. That doesn't mean that if I've ever told you I won't work with you, that's because that's the reason it's not. But if that happens, I'm not going to be serving them properly if they're not a fit for me. So it's really important to me that my clients get what they need from me. So that's how I work. I'll give them a proposal. We'll go from there.
Right. And you do corporate as well as individual?
With the corporates, yeah. So with corporates, I've got what I call my 9 pillars of leadership. It's like a smorgasbord menu. And I recommend the corporates go to the website, have a look at that, because you can go through all the different things that I can do for you, and you check box what it is that you want or what you see as problems that you want to work on.
Right.
And then from there, we come back to you with a proposal of what we could provide. And again, that proposal might be, before we go any further, I want to actually come in and spend half a day observing or spend 2 hours observing what's going on in this particular team so that I get more of a handle and can give you more of an assessment from my point of view of to what I'm seeing as well, because sometimes the boss isn't necessarily seeing what's actually going on.
That's right.
Sometimes the boss is the problem.
Yeah. So true, especially when you have those 360-degree.
I love a 360. I love a 360. They're great. They really show you what's going on.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
And your website, Mary?
Optimalcoaching.com.au. Optimal, OPTIM for Mary, AL.
And you can jump on all your social media handles from there?
Yes, you can. You'll also find optimalleadership.au. You'll also find me that way, or even marywong.com.au.
Okay.
That's not hard,
going to the same place, or?
All of them go to the same place. They all the same website, but different parts of the same website.
See. Interesting.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it gives you different focus depending on which way you come in.
Okay. Perfect. Well, Mary, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've learned a lot, and I'm glad that we managed to get our podcast episode after a few tries. I'm glad we did it, and it was a fantastic conversation.
Thank you, Darren. Thanks for having me.
Real pleasure. And I really encourage people to check out Mary's website, check out her work. If you're an individual or a corporate that's looking to step it up in terms of leadership and productivity, then Mary's the person to talk to, and check out all the different offers that she can provide you with. Now, I always like to leave my guests with the last word. So is there anything that you'd like to leave us with?
You've got it already. It's there. So you might need to learn some skills along the way. That's okay. You can lead while learning.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good saying. You can lead while learning. I like that. Should be on a t-shirt.
It's my tagline, lead while learning.
Lead while learning. I like that.
Lead while learning, because that's the thing that holds people back. They think oh no, I don't know enough yet.
That's right.
If you've got a burning desire on your heart to create change somewhere, to really drive a mission forward, get started.
Yeah, beautiful.
Lead while learning.
Yep. You don't need permission from anybody. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Oh, that's not mine, though. I can't say just do it.
No, we'll leave it with lead while learning. I love that.
Lead while learning.
Awesome. Well, Mary, thank you again. It's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to working with you again and having you back on the show at some point. And for everyone out there, I hope you had a fantastic show and you enjoyed that as much as I did. We wish you all the very best, and we'll see you very, very soon for our next episode of Playing with Perspective, the Suspended Animation Podcast. Thanks again, Mary.
Thanks, Darren.
Bye for now. Thanks again for joining me for another episode of Playing with Perspective, the Suspended Animation Podcast. If you would like to join me as a guest on the show, I would be delighted to collaborate. Just reach out via www.suspendedanimation.com.au. Also, remember to click on the link in the show notes for loads of great podcasting resources, webinars, courses, and opportunities to help you on your podcast journey. Many of them free. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.